Hey everyone, we're back, and I'm excited because this time we have Romilda, our county manager for Luzerne County. Acting, my bad, my apologies.
I'll be accepting my Emmy Award shortly.
Yes, very good, very good. And what's interesting enough is last year we had Dave Pedri actually on representing Luzerne County with the county manager, and I'm excited to have you because
I'm excited and very pleased to be here.
I appreciate it. So we were just talking prior to this, and you were talking about you lived in New York.
I did. I lived in New York City.
And I think that a lot of the people that listen to this and a lot of people that are here, that's what they think of as homelessness is New York.
Right.
And so just tell me a little bit about what it was like in New York and what you saw there, and then let's talk about here in Luzerne County.
Sure. You know, I lived in Manhattan, and I was very blessed. When I went to college there, I lived with my aunt and uncle, and they treated me really well. But my aunt always imparted on me that we, need to be aware of everyone,
Right.
even people who are less fortunate than we are. And so New York could be synonymous with homelessness. It's synonymous with the most wealthy and Wall Street, but it's also synonymous with homelessness. And you could have a $1 million townhouse and someone is sleeping on your stoop, and that's unacceptable. To me, it was unacceptable to my aunt, and I remember I brought coffee and bagels, and I remember I would always have, she would always give me extra money so that if somebody needed a meal, I could buy a meal. And I know that doesn't change the world, but it was my way of trying to help. And then you get to know people, and you get to know people in your area and your neighborhood, and a lot of times I would bring some of the people that I got to know who lived out in the street. I would bring them in. We would have breakfast or something together, because they're, we objectify them, but they're really us. There was someone who was an engineer, very well educated, more educated than I'll ever be, and fell on hard times for a lot of reasons, and then, their families, they get alienated from their families, and it's this whole mix of things. And we live in a great country, and right now we're going through a pandemic, but the reality is we have an epidemic of homelessness, and it's not just in New York City, it's here, and it's not just in Wilkes-Barre, it's in all the surrounding areas. We need to open our eyes to it. We're very, we go about our day and we walk past people, and we don't take it in, and we don't take in the ways that we can, assist. And it's not a one fix for everyone.
Right.
So I can tell you, as an individual, and right now as the acting county manager, Luzerne County will take this very seriously. I take it very seriously.
And I think that's where it starts, right? Do I think that Luzerne County has the fix? Not at all.
Right.
Do I think Keystone Mission has the fix? Not at all.
Right.
But what I think we do have is we can work together as a team with all the agencies that are out there and solve this issue that's going on. One of the things is, you said Manhattan. So did you know the Bauer Rescue Mission? Does that sound familiar?
I did. I did, and I actually knew at the time. Now I left. I had 2 stints in New York City. The last stint, I gave up my apartment in 2004, and then I went to college there in the 90s. I knew all of the missions and shelters, and I actually knew where the soup kitchens were. Actually volunteered. There was a soup kitchen, a at St. Francis, which is a church, a Franciscan church right by Madison Square Garden, and they and my aunt and I would go there for church, and we were she was very close with the Franciscans there. Father Judge, who died during 9/11, she knew very well, and we would volunteer or we would contribute. So I made a note of that, and the reality is there are some shelters and missions that are better than others.
Correct. You're right.
And people who are homeless know that, and some of the shelters, they knew that if they brought whatever their belongings were, they would have to take them with them because someone would steal them or something.
Yep.
So I made myself aware of it. I'm not aware of it anymore because I'm just a tourist now in New York.
I say Bauer because that's actually similar. They're in the same organization we're in of what we do in rescue missions, and they do an unbelievable job. And the pandemic they have down there with homelessness, they're trying to battle it day and night.
And they've made inroads because the Bowery, when I was there, was you didn't really want to go to the Bowery area.
That's correct.
And I don't know, I shouldn't say that it's not that way now because sometimes with gentrification, what happens is homeless people get even more, invisible.
Yep.
But I know that they've really made some inroads.
So one of the big things that I like, and you know me and the way I talk, is I love solutions, right?
Right.
Let's come up with a plan,
right.
And the plan may not work, and that's okay, but it's better than just sitting here saying, let's spin wheels.
Right.
And so one of the big things, and I talked actually to 2 members of the county council last night about was, what about a summit, right? If we just did a summit where we got the elected officials all across our county, right? State, federal, and local,
right,
in a room and say, okay, we know we got a problem of homelessness, right? And we all have a lot of stuff on our plates. We all have a lot of issues on our plate. The county's got everything going on, and we understand that homelessness is that one little piece of the whole puzzle. But have a summit where we say, okay, we want to come up with a plan.
Right.
And what is that plan that we're going to use? And then take that plan, and then let's bring a summit together for businessmen and women and agencies to come together and say, okay, here's the plan.
Right.
Now let's get that plan moving.
Right.
That's one of my initiatives that I'm trying to do actually this year.
Okay.
Is bring that summit together, and I know that the 2 members said that they were more than happy to do it.
I'll be more than happy to do whatever needs to be done.
Oh, I know, Romilda. Whatever I ask you, be like, let's do it. Let's do it.
My friend here.
Yes. So. Let's talk about, just real quick, because I know you're busy and you got stuff to get together too. I want to talk about homelessness. We've been talking about Wilkes-Barre.
Right.
Okay? And I think that we beat this horse pretty hard this past couple hours on homelessness in Wilkes-Barre. But we got homelessness also throughout Luzerne County. And now you represent Luzerne County, the whole picture. So we see the focus here in Wilkes-Barre, but we also neglect those that are like in Hazleton, right?
Right.
We neglect those. I remember that we took our truck out in Plymouth. We went back into the woods right there by the river in Plymouth, and there was a whole city right there.
Right.
That we were helping them get back on track, getting them out of there so we can move them into a better place for independence. So, and I might be putting you on the spot here because I don't know, but how do we take care of a lot of these other cities, right? So like the Nanticokes that may not have the resources that a Wilkes-Barre can do, or the facility to do it. How do we troubleshoot that whole idea, or is it something that we just keep moving and saying, like, let's get them into Wilkes-Barre so that we can get them help in the Wilkes-Barre location, or what? I don't know. I don't know if that's something you thought of or something you can think of.
Well, I didn't necessarily think of it in the context of homelessness. I've thought about it in the context of services provided to residents in the lower part of the county when it comes to maybe, family issues with CYS, even with mental health issues and drug and alcohol issues. Geographically, we have a really large county. So there are services, there are a lot of services here in Wilkes-Barre. There are some in Hazleton, not as much in Wilkes-Barre. And a lot of times, when these individuals go through the system, they are required to come to Wilkes-Barre. We don't have a whole county-wide transit system, so it's difficult for them to make appointments. So I've thought about it in that context. The way I think about it is kind of, revamping our transit system to make it more accessible for people to come and go to different parts of the county.
And then connects them to resources.
So in that sense, I think it may carry over to homelessness. Each community is different. They have their own needs. They have their own nuances. So it really has to be a kind of local community effort. The local communities, maybe in Nanticoke or Hazelton, have to be invited to the table here.
I agree.
So that we can share what's working, what's not working.
And have their voice spoken.
And have their, yeah.
And I think it's important, I want to give a shout out, is
right.
the LCTA,
right.
Luzerne County Transportation Authority.
Right.
They do provide, for
right.
those that are actually going to get services.
Right.
They do provide free bus rides.
Right.
And they give the card.
So they passes.
They got to make 3 appointments and they get a
yes.
card, which I think
right.
is amazing because
it's wonderful.
That opens doors for them to do things that get
right.
services. And I think it's underutilized.
Right.
So it's one thing that I think is excellent that we have going in our direction
right.
because with the limited transport that we have,
right.
we can utilize what we got.
Yeah, we have services like that, but I'm not sure everyone who knows that they can take advantage are aware of it. So we have to bring that awareness out. And I know that our Human Services Department, we have a lot of really, really smart and caring and enthusiastic people there, and they would love to share their ideas.
Awesome.
It's not a quick fix.
I agree.
It isn't a quick fix, and it's very complex. And we see the end. When people are homeless, but
yep.
they didn't just spontaneously become homeless. There's a whole history that if we can work with them at the beginning, we won't have at the end.
There's that metaphor, right, of the owl that sees all these people that are coming down the river,
right.
and then decides, okay, well, why don't we put a dam and stop the river, right?
Right.
And then the owl says, well, no, why are we doing that when we can go right to the part
right.
where they're jumping into the river
right.
and stop it there.
Right.
And so
right.
I agree. If we can stop it before it even happens, then we've done our job and what we need to do.
Right.
I know you're busy, and I have one more quick question.
Sure,
and
sure.
This is probably going to be maybe the hardest, maybe the easiest question. We're football fans.
Yes.
My buddy who came to visit did not visit because he had a personal issue that he had to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about last year the football prediction of who's going to be in
right.
the Super Bowl. So I need to pass it on to you. Who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl this year?
Well, I'm a big fan of Josh Allen, so the Bills will be there.
I agree.
Okay. I'm
So
trying to...
Nick, I agree. It's going to be the Bills. So we got 2 Bills here.
We got 2 Bills.
Now NFC.
NFC. Cowboys.
Ooh, that's a good one. And are you saying it because of the threat they have with their wide receivers?
They have. I think that, and I'm not. It's not because I'm a Cowboy fan. It's just they seem to have.
Wait, time out. You're a Cowboy fan?
No, I said it's not because.
Oh,
I
okay,
am.
okay, good.
I like Josh Allen, so I want the Bills to
okay,
go
all right,
the way.
Okay. I can continue this conversation then. Okay, good.
But it just seems that Dallas has all the pieces together, and if there aren't any injuries, I think that they could do it.
Okay, so you got Bills and Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
Right.
I got Bills and the Buccaneers.
Well, yeah.
And I got the Buccaneers winning by 14 points.
Nice.
Now, I did this last year and I nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
I got exactly Buccaneers and Chiefs. We have it on
Right.
recording. It's 100% true. If you want to go back on Facebook and
believe
play
you.
it back. No, I'm telling
you.
everybody because I want
Okay.
them to know because I'm Notre Dameist when it comes to this.
Okay.
And
I love Gronk. I love Gronk. Gronk is like I just love him.
I love the Buccaneers overall. And I'm just going to say, so Nick's not here, so I'm going to give Nick's predictions. Nick says the Baltimore Ravens and the Green Bay Packers.
That's a long shot, but Aaron Rodgers.
I like you more and more, Romilda.
Yeah.
You got that, Nick? It's a long shot.
But Aaron Rodgers can throw that long shot.
I think he's connecting right now, which is really good.
Yeah.
And I think that the sleeper we can look at is the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Chargers are going to come out of somewhere.
Right.
And I was going to say the sleeper was going to be the Cowboys,
Yeah.
but you chose them to go to the Super Bowl. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, we'll be back.
All
We can
right,
talk about it.
Ramilda, as always, I
good
appreciate
to see
everything
you.
you're doing. Keep
Okay.
up the good work, and let's
We'll
make
do it
changes.
together. Call me. I'm in. All
I
the way.
appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Have a
thanks.
good one.
Bye.